Good night, good night. This is Perimenopause Chit Chat, and as usual, I'm going to invite some people. Good night. Just giving people a couple minutes before we get started. Good night, good night. Wind down, baby. Jump down, baby. Wind down, girl. Jump down, baby. Wind down. All right. We are at 6:30, and I am going to start because I'm trying to make this one short and sweet. We will see how it goes. So good night, everyone. Welcome to Perimenopause Chit Chat. And today, guess what today is? If anybody knows what today is, you can put it in the chat box. If you don't know, then I will tell you. So I'll just give you a couple of minutes to guess what today is. No, it's not my birthday either. Anybody guessing? Yes, not well. Today is World Menopause Day. For all of you who are now joining in, yes, today is World Menopause Day, and tonight is just going to be a general chit chat. I don't have a specific topic to go into tonight because, yes, you guessed it. Well done. Yeah, so I'm not going to be going into specific topics tonight, but you can always drop your questions. I'll just be doing an overview of what perimenopause is, what menopause is, what postmenopause is. And I have a special guest again tonight. So if you were on last week, no, it wasn't last week. Yeah, it was last week. No, it wasn't last week. She was on the week before. So if you were on the week before, which was the second live, then you will know who the special guest is. But she will not be joining as yet because we just want to get some things going. And as I said, this one is going to be short. This is also an opportunity for you to ask general questions. If it is a personalized question, then that cannot be answered on the live because that will mean that I have to do a bit more investigation and a bit more conversation with you. So if you did not know either that this entire month, with many of all the awareness months going on, this is also Menopause Awareness Month. So let me get it started because I know sometimes you will see things as menopause, the menopause, perimenopause, postmenopause, and it might be a little bit confusing. So I will describe what it is and then we will go from there. So we have premenopause phase. This one you don't really see as much, but usually our changes, our shifts start around age 35. And when I'm talking about this, I'm talking about natural menopause. So I will come to the other types of menopause. So perimenopause is that phase premenopause is that phase when you will still be seeing a regular period. You might notice changes around age 35 and it goes on even before you're 40. Some people might realize that they're getting migraines right before their period come or during their period, which was nothing that they encountered before. Good night. Right. nothing that they encountered before. And these fluctuate. Then you might start to notice different things around your early 40s, and that is when your period is still coming every 28 to 35 days. And this is for people that are not on the birth control pill, because when you're on the birth control pill, that is not a period, that is just a withdrawal bleed. Yeah, anyway, but then that, as I said, your period is normal and you might start to notice some changes. I would say for me, one of the changes that I notice is the length of my period, but my period is still cutting my tail. But the length of my period has changed. And the thing is, if you realize that there are changes in your period in terms of the length, in terms of the amount of bleeding, just don't brush that off. Go to OBGYN to get checked. For me, I went to get checked and I have fibroids. And that is something that usually appears in women in their early 40s. And it is mainly a situation with excess estrogen as opposed to progesterone. So we got the premenopause phase around 35 to early 40s. And then from your mid 40s to your 50s, that is when the fun happens for some women. Some women, they're going to have all of these symptoms, and some women, they're going to breeze through this phase. And this is called perimenopause, which is the necessary recalibration of your hormonal and nervous systems 2 to 10 years before your final period, right? So this phase with all of these symptoms is what some people confuse as menopause, but that is not menopause. That is perimenopause. Menopause is that one single day that you have not seen your period for 12 consecutive months. That's one day. And then after that, you're postmenopausal. And the thing is, some of the symptoms that happen in perimenopause will subside, but there are others that will linger around. Some women still get hot flashes. Some women might still have vaginal dryness. That's the biggest complaint. And others will have the weight gain, especially around the tummy area. So we got premenopause, where things are now changing, but you ain't really noticing that much. You have perimenopause, where all of the changes happen, like the symptoms that you might know about: brain fog, weight gain, hot flashes, vaginal dryness, itchiness of the skin, vertigo. Yes, that is a symptom. There are a whole set of things. Then you have menopause, which is that one single day that you have not seen your period for a consecutive 12 months. And then you're postmenopausal. So that is when you're going through natural menopausal. But there are women that are thrown into menopause or have these menopause symptoms right away. So this could happen at any age. So if anyone that you know had a full hysterectomy, so for example, women that might have very big fibroids and the only option is to remove the uterus, some doctors just remove everything, including the ovaries, and that throws them into menopause straight on, because you're not going to ever see a period again, and your hormones did not get a chance to decline and do all the things they needed to grow. It's just like ripping everything from your body, and ripping the hormones from your body. So women will have intense symptoms because of a hysterectomy. Also, there is premature ovarian insufficiency, when the ovaries are not producing enough estrogen and then they fail. So that is another way women go into menopause early. And then chemical induced menopause, and that is usually from things like chemotherapy or very aggressive types of medication. So those women, they do not have the time to recalibrate. It is just like everything straight on, and they're thrown into these symptoms, and these symptoms are very, very, very intense. So for these type of women, I would say that is when it is going to be necessary for them to go on hormone replacement therapy. And by the way, the theme for this World Menopause Day is hormone replacement therapy. I will give you my views on that. And remember, at any point in time, if you need to ask questions or make any comments, you can do that. But I would say under those circumstances when women are thrown into early menopause, and that's usually before the age of 40, that is when hormone replacement therapy, that will definitely help them. But for all others that are going through natural menopause, the natural change, I would say that it's important for you to have the basics covered first, and then if you need it, then take it. Yes, it helps a lot of women, especially when you have some of these symptoms that are very debilitating, like the thoughts of suicide. There are a lot of women that do have those thoughts. Anxiety goes up and they might need that. Some women that usually have recurrent urinary tract infections, recurrent bacterial vaginosis, things like that, they do benefit from vaginal estrogen. But these things are things that you have to discuss with your doctor to know that not all the time everything is going to work for you. And just because your friend say, well, it's on the patch, that means that you're going to get a patch and it might not necessarily work. It is something that also takes time. Like the other things that will take time, like improving your nutrition, improving your movement, especially getting in resistance training, improving your stress levels, and managing your blood sugar levels, right? So we got some of them basics covered. So as I said, this is the time for you to ask questions. I'm not going to be going in detail to any topic right now. It is just about raising awareness of it and having the conversations and letting you know that perimenopause, menopause is not only a woman's issue, it is everybody's issue. It is your workplace issue because there are a lot of women that are negatively impacted. So that means that their productivity is going to go down. Absenteeism is going to go up. And also some women also think about leaving their jobs because of the inability to handle some of these symptoms that are happening. It is going to affect families as well, especially if you have children and they don't quite understand why mommy all of a sudden she moody or snapping at me. It affects them. It affects intimate relationships because there are women that love their husbands, love their partners dearly, but sex has become painful for them. So they don't necessarily want to have sex. And you know, if you ain't want to have sex, you know how some people set up, then that is going to be a problem. So sometimes they also stated that divorce rates are also very high in this phase, that women leave. But it is not a full bad thing. There's the other side of it. This is the time that you really get to be selfish and to really take care of yourself and to take care of your health. A lot of women for too long we have been nurturers. We have been looking after a lot of people and putting ourselves on the back burner and not taking care of ourselves. So this is the time when, if you're going through the changes right now, this is the time for you to really pay attention so that your foundation will be laid for the future years. I don't know about you, but when I get up in age, I still want to be able to function. I still want to be able to walk around. I still want to be able to go on trips. I still want to be able to go in people's fats or cruises and walk a stink. I still want to be able to do those things. And that is why it is important to do all the foundation things first and make sure that you have those down pat so that when you get up in age, you'll be able to do the things that you still want. Because the thing is, a lot of people say, I am going to wait until retirement to go on this trip, to fully enjoy myself. But the reality is some women are not able. might have knee issues, might have joint issues, things like that. So I'll say this is the time for you to be selfish and take care of your health. So as I said before, we have our guest, the Vag. She's here again, and she is telling you that if you do not exercise her, a lot of things are going to happen. Things like prolapse, and prolapse could be bladder prolapse, so this is the bladder, could be vaginal prolapse, this tube is the vagina. It could be uterus prolapse, so this white area here is the uterus where it could descend into the vagina. And you can have something called a rectocele, where there is a bulging or a descending of your rectum, and all of these do affect her. The other things that she's usually affected by is the lips, which is a vulva. Vaginal dryness can occur. The clitoris as well. You can have clitoral dysfunction. Yes, the same thing as erectile dysfunction. This is the same tissue. So that is why you need to focus on exercising your pelvic floor muscles and making sure that there's a good blood supply going there, that she is still supple, flexible, but still strong, because she also holds up everything. So everything, let me show you. So this is where she sits. So everything up, your pelvic floor muscles are supporting you. So that is why, and especially because of estrogen that is dropping, she needs extra support, even dietary interventions, like making sure you're taking on an anti-inflammatory diet is going to help her. It's going to help everything. And things that you do for the brain is going to help the entire body. So just to wrap up, because I don't see any questions coming through, and I said that this is just a quick one. This is very quick tonight because we're hitting 15 minutes. But just to say that this transition, yes, there are going to be challenging times, but there are things that you can do to help you through these times. You having an anti-inflammatory diet, going into it with an attitude like saying, yes, things are going to change, but it is not going to last forever. Doing things that are going to help you in terms of reducing your stress, so mindfulness, meditation, things like that. Having fun. You're not too young to have fun. Have fun. It's not going to be a childish thing if you go sit and rumble and play. Have fun. That is a way to bring down stress levels. Resistance training, and for the love of God, you're not going to look like a man if you lift weights. Resistance training is needed, not only for you in terms of weight management, but in terms of your bone density. You do not want to get to be an older age, fall and break a hip, and then within a year, you're cock up and dead. So you need resistance training, right? How to balance your blood sugar levels, that is needed. So these things are the things that will help you through this transition. And if you are young, please note that this is also the time for you to build up all of your stores of estrogen and to do all of these things to help you to build those things. Was it extended period due to fibroids? But typically women in their 40s develop fibroids. So it can, and fibroids usually come about because there is excess estrogen compared to progesterone. So my estrogen levels could be high right now, while progesterone levels are low. So it is like a chicken or the egg, really. But I noticed this last year where things had changed. And right now, how old am I? I'm 42. So my transition has started. Yeah.